welcome to another episode of Hallmark. I'm Kristen.
I'm Aya.
And look.
We watched a movie.
We watched a movie. And while it's not the worst we've ever seen,
Not
it's
good.
coming pretty close.
It was like, do you know what? Like, when are we going to catch a break at this point? Do you know what I mean? Like, when is there going to be a good one where we go, no, well, okay,
We've been there.
No notes.
No, I don't think there will ever be
you're always
any
gonna have
movie ever in the history, Hallmark or non-Hallmark, that we won't have some form of note
What?
for.
I'm not going to get into what's the one that's been the best. We go down a rabbit hole. We still need to do an episode. We actually should do that where we
Review our reviews.
review and like go through it and be like,
Yeah.
yes, we
Maybe
recommend.
for our 2-year anniversary.
So next year, so 2025.
Because we'll build up a catalogue of episodes.
Yeah, true. We would have done a lot by then.
Yeah.
So what are we watching? What are we reviewing today?
We watched Sister of the Bride.
Yeah.
On Amazon Prime here in Australia, as per usual. Yeah. I watched it twice. Because the first time I watched it, I was like, I'm going to do that thing where I don't take notes the first time, and I'll see if I like it. I've had to really then push myself to watch it a second time.
Yeah, I said, you told me that you wrote lots of notes, and I was like, well,
Yeah,
shit.
this is the first time my notes have gone over 2 pages.
Yeah, I was like, well, I have, my page setup's different, so I can't tell. I think this is definitely 1 page.
Yeah.
But I felt insecure, the fact that I only had 1 page of notes. I was like, oh, I'll watch it again. Well, I didn't.
No.
Because I really didn't want to. I also had to watch the following
Yeah.
movie as well. So I was
Which also wasn't great.
we'll get to that.
But we'll get there next fortnight. We can compare and contrast.
Sure.
But before we go any further, what the heck is this movie about?
Yep, so IMDb, Sister of the Bride, says, after only 6 months of dating, Stephanie and Ben get engaged and are delighted to share the news. Okay. However, they hit a road bump when Stephanie's parents show concern that the couple has moved too fast. That's literally not what the movie's about.
That's not what the movie's about. That is a part of the movie.
That's part of it. That's their story. But it's called Sister of the Bride because they get engaged after 6 months and then they go to visit her parents and then she finds out that her sister is engaged to her boyfriend of many
6 years or
years.
something.
And it's all like, oh, but I can't even describe it. They both are trash and want their birthdays on July 4th.
They want their weddings on July 4th. Yeah.
Do they both want red, white and blue themed or just the sister?
I think Stephanie is the one that suggested red, white, and blue, and the sister went, "Oh my god, yes."
Yeah. So they're coming up to July 4th. It's like in a couple of weeks. So the sister ends up having the wedding, and Stephanie and Ben are like, "Oh, we'll do it next year." So then the whole movie is them planning her sister's wedding, and then they kind of discover that maybe they don't know everything about each other, or
Wild after just 6
after 6 months, and like he wants to move to London for work and she doesn't. And then her parents are like, wow, this is really quick, and it's just them navigating that. That's the shortest kind of extra description I've ever given, because that's really it. And obviously, spoiler, they figure it out. She quits her job, moves to London, which we hate. And then the sister doesn't get married because
the only reason they're having it in such a short period of time is because the brother-in-law's grandmother needs to be at the wedding and she's not doing well, and then grandma can't go, and so they're pushing through. But then he's like, actually, the whole reason I wanted to get married was because grandma.
So they don't, and so they've set up this interesting wedding. So Stephanie and Ben end up getting married on July 4th. Their dream red, white and blue wedding.
I couldn't. I mean, it started off well because Stephanie is an anthropologist, which is like the coolest job we've had in a Hallmark film so far.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of Bones, and so I'm like, ooh, anthropology. Yeah. But she's more focused on romantic history, I guess, of like how do couples in different cultures and at different times get married, show affection, all of that kind of stuff. So it's still very tailored to the Hallmark market.
Oh, yeah. Like, why can't someone literally just be an anthropologist? Just do your job. I was confused in the opening scene because I thought it was a university, but I wasn't sure. It also looked like a school.
And then it looked like a business hub.
Yeah, and no one had a laptop. No one was writing a note. No. So I was like, you were all listening to her like she's reading like some kind of like Shakespeare play or like a fairy tale. Like, aren't you learning? Like, write a note.
Goes straight into the brain.
Write a note down. Yeah. And then you hear an instrument.
Yeah.
And old mate Ben's outside.
Yeah.
Proposing to her in public.
As
part of their work.
6-month anniversary. And I was like, all of these things are so wrong.
I mean, okay, so I think I took my note out because, to be fair, if I met someone and I really felt like this guy was going to be my forever and he proposed to me at 6 months, I would say yes.
Really?
I would. I think I'm 33, mate. Like,
that's true. We don't have a lot of time left.
Time is a chicken. Like,
you've only got like 5 more years in you.
Yeah, 5 more years of like good birthing. I don't know. So
I'm joking, by the way. That's a joke.
But I think I'm at that age now where I truly would. I think after 6 months you would know what the person's favourite colour is.
I think that's the difference. And also, being in your mid-30-ish era, you also know who you are and what you want out of a relationship, where I think if you were 22 and you said that to me, I'd be like...
Yeah. Wait, is she 22?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I have no idea how old these people are.
No. But yes,
could be anywhere
I
between
think
the
about
ages of 30
myself.
and 50.
I think about myself at 22.
Yeah.
And if this happened to me...
Yeah.
Oh.
No. Look, if I was for sure certain, but I'm also like... I go back and forth on decision.
But would you have like a long engagement? Would that matter? Or is it more like, no, we need to be together a bit longer and maybe... It also just depends on what you've experienced in that time.
I think it's hard because it depend on the person and the relationship.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, do we need to get married at this point? You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well,
now
in this instance, they were not. I don't know what they knew about each other, and. Yeah, it was odd.
Yeah. So also it meant that there was no meet cute. We were just like straight into
That's true.
But he did explain their meet cute as part of his proposal, which was like he was at the coffee shop, he turned around, she ran into him, coffee down the front kind of deal.
Classic. We saw that recently.
Yes. And I mean, like, the actors seem to have good chemistry.
I was going to say they did have good chemistry. I will give them that.
And it was a very sweet relationship.
I don't remember to be fair, I don't remember any of the acting being really good. Maybe it was from others, but theirs was pretty good and their chemistry was decent.
But he hasn't even met her family. Like, they're going on a trip for this, like, summer holiday to Palm Springs or the Hamptons.
Palm Springs.
Yeah. I was like, it's one of those holiday destinations for rich people.
Sure.
Because their holiday house,
oh my god,
is a mansion.
It is. Like, Palm Springs, like, we understand as Australians, we understand what Palm Springs is. To be fair, they live in like the ugliest Palm Springs house. Like, the decor was... If I ended up in that house in Palm Springs, I'd be really upset. I would want something like white... Like,
sorry to whoever actually owns that house.
Who cares? I want white, like, breeze block, give me all the cacti and, like, pink umbrellas. Like, that's what I want.
That's fair. There was a lot of white, but it just wasn't very cohesive.
No, it didn't work.
He's never met her family. They're going on a trip. He's proposed having not asked, like, look, I'm not that traditional. Like, you don't really need to ask for my permission. I'm not a piece of property. But also, like, maybe meet the family before you propose.
Yeah, this is like the family you're gonna have to hang out with a lot.
Yeah, and just like gauge whether they like you or not.
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, her mother's... I put Aunt Hilda, but I realised I got wrong. Aunt Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda from
Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the 90s TV show.
She was Stephanie's mum in this.
And that was the best part of this whole movie. Her coming on screen and me being like, oh my god!
But I agree, but did you find her acting like I felt like she wasn't opening her mouth when she was talking, or does she always do that?
Totally different. Her voice sounded different from Sabrina, because I started watching that, rewatching that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I rewatched it last year. I hated rewatching
don't rewatch Sabrina the Teenage Witch, guys. Just let it be perfect in your memory.
Let it be, like, Sabrina's not entitled and not a brat. Yeah. She was a fun, quirky witch.
Yeah. And Harvey's great. I feel like she's just very down, like she just downplays everything a lot.
Maybe
it's bad. I think it's just like casual.
Maybe it's because we're used to seeing her
over the top.
Yeah, a certain way. And like that was years ago in a sitcom.
Yeah, like 30 years ago.
Yeah. She looked good.
She looks great. I was very excited to see her.
Yeah, me too.
Look, everyone's engaged. There's a wedding in 4 weeks. They want to sell the holiday house. Nobody's really saying anything. It's all just happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. Look, these characters seem to be in their like late 20s to mid 30s. That's the age range I'm going to put on it.
Sure.
And they have to sleep in separate bedrooms.
Yeah, I clocked that when she said, "You'll be and
you're just down the hall.
He didn't go, "Sorry, what?"
No.
He was just like, "Okay."
And I'm like, you're still technically in the honeymoon phase of your relationship, right? Surely we're not at the point where you're like, separate beds.
Separate beds, my own space. I see you enough.
Thanks so much for venturing down here. So weird. And then the next morning, Aunt Zelda is like, we've made breakfast. Then the tradition for every holiday, even though my children are now fully grown adults, the tradition is to make them all of the food for breakfast on the first day of holidays, because as children they couldn't pick between pancakes and waffles, and now I make everything. But I also make scrambled eggs and I also make bacon. There was so much food on this table that I thought that 20 people were coming to breakfast, and it was just 4 of them eating. But I'm like, is this a normal occurrence?
Apparently. Separate beds,
stacks of
breakfast
pancakes.
smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord. I wrote the sister chemistry felt weird.
The sister's acting, first of all, was terrible. It felt very forced. So I felt like she had chemistry with absolutely no one in this.
The guy playing her husband wasn't too bad, but like again, I was like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I just wrote 4th of July wedding. No, in capital letters.
But then they're so shocked when they're planning this 4th of July wedding, which is like one of the biggest holidays in America. And they like go to all the vendors being like, you can't help us? Yes.
Not only are we planning a wedding in the next 4 weeks, it's a public holiday.
But also, with the 4 weeks, I know it's further down, but like I guess I really clocked it at that like later in the movie, but they mention it earlier. So I'm just gonna I won't remove that note. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. It's fine. 4 weeks of holidays, right? Like, are they on holiday this entire time? Like, how do they get so much leave?
Well, they're rich people.
Oh, okay.
They don't need the money. And also,
she might be on.
She's at
uni, like college,
spring break.
No, it's summer holidays.
Yeah.
It'd be summer break.
Do they have a summer break?
Yeah, because they have like their summer break is different to ours. Yeah,
their calendar year, their school year,
educational year. Their calendar.
Yeah. Look, it was very strange. Because there isn't leave.
No.
What's on?
It was another note about, I said that the main pair had zero chemistry, even though earlier I just said that they did, so I don't actually know what I thought.
It was like on and off.
Yeah, sorry. Keep going about the holidays if you want.
The holidays, and then it was this like, this is going to be great because we can use their guest list for our wedding next year. I'm like, no, you can't.
No, you can't.
You're not inviting his family to your wedding.
Yeah.
What is happening?
But like, don't you want your own like, what is going on? Like, why don't you just plan
separate
everything
lives.
yourself? Don't copy this shit show. This 4th of July mess.
And look, if you want a themed wedding, I'm not judging you.
I am.
I know you are. But I'm like, I love a theme. Do I love a red, white, and blue theme on a holiday? Not really.
No.
But also, at least you get free fireworks, I guess. Anyway.
True.
Somebody says, look, I watched this movie a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not really sure. It said, your first offer, your first offer is the best offer. And they're like, that saying. Your first offer is the best offer.
Never heard
of
it.
Who says that? And also, sometimes.
Yeah.
But then maybe offer 3 is better than offer 1. I don't know.
It sounds like you have to settle because like the first offer, just take it. You're not going to get anything better. It's like, well, you could.
You could.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember that. I don't know when that came in.
Dad's really not on board, and Dad are really not on board for quite a long time, and very obviously not on board with this relationship, and then flips a switch for no good reason.
Does he flip when? So he's into vintage cars, and he's given Ben a bit of a hard time, be like, you didn't ask me, and you can't play golf, and you've not been dating her for long, and then Ben's dad is a mechanic and works with vintage cars, and Ben asks his dad to send Stephanie's dad a missing piece to this car that he's trying to restore. Is that the moment that it...
No, it's just before that moment.
Ah.
So he helps him work on this car, and then he orders the piece in, but it starts off as, well, you could have asked me for my hand, blah blah blah, and then it's oh, her hand, blah blah blah, and then he switches mid-conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I
know what I get it. Yeah, I remember.
What?
But he was like, oh, I'm joking. It's like, are you?
Are you joking? Also, this is so toxic.
Yeah, I don't like stuff like that.
So then we get into wedding planning. This whole movie, and I cannot stress enough how many times I checked on the time countdown to be how are we only 5 more minutes into this movie?
Yeah, I agree.
The whole movie is wedding planning. Do we need to see it?
No, I think that's probably why I didn't write too many notes, because it's literally wedding planning for a wedding that's not theirs.
No.
Constantly having to figure out a way of getting stuff for a 4th of July wedding.
Yeah.
And also just constantly discovering that they don't know everything about each other.
Yeah. The whole
That's it.
And that's it. So they're in the invitation shop and they're looking at traditional wedding invites, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, but it's 4th of July themed. And then they land on one that just has a red border with a blue border, and then an inner red border, and then a white card, and they're like, that one. And I'm like, ugh, gross. They don't know each other's favorite colors comes out in that moment. Then they go to the bakery where they're like, I grew up here and everyone knows me, blah 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 blah. They're like, can I have a wedding cake in 4 weeks? And the lady's like, it's our busiest day of the year. Absolutely not. And she's like, please, would you do it for me, kind of deal. And the baker is like, yes. I was like, don't guilt trip someone into making your cake for you when this is ludicrous.
But also, do you believe that 4th of July is a bakery's busiest day of the year?
I would think that people have a lot of parties, and parties need cake.
Yeah, I also think Thanksgiving would be up there too.
That's true.
But I don't know.
Who knows? We'll ask anybody who want to tell us which one's bigger if you own a bakery in the United States of America.
We're going for niche.
We're going for niche. Then in the bakery, they discover they want different amounts of children. And I'm like, okay, well, we're getting married, so we might as well have the kids chat. But how have you not had the kids chat?
I feel like, I'm going back to the getting married proposed thing. Surely this can't have been a surprise. Surely there would have been some kind of conversation being like, do you know what, I think I want to marry you. You would have had that conversation.
Surely.
Because after 6 months, you want to be pretty damn sure that if you're proposing or whatever, that you're going to get a yes. So surely these conversations popped up. I find it so hard to believe that they happened.
Then Ben gets offered a job in London. The job that he went for a few months ago didn't get. That's how they met. 6 months later, they're engaged and he's gotten a job offer in London. And it's just this whole thing of... I just wrote, you're allowed to live apart as a couple. You can get married and he can go work in London for 6, 12 months, however long the contract is. And you can work here and that's okay. And then once you get tenure, you can move. Like...
Yeah, but long distance is fine.
Yeah.
But also, she's, like, a university lecturer.
Yes.
Like, you have holidays.
Well, that's the thing. This is the thing that's slightly... I had to look it up, too. Because I'm like... She hasn't gotten tenure yet. And I was very confused about what that meant. For some reason, I just, in my head, because it has the word 10 in it, I was like, oh, it's the 10-year anniversary. Like, you've been working there for 10 years. It's not necessarily.
That's what I thought.
So they're not contracted full-time. You have to, like, prove yourself. So when you get tenure, then you become a full-time employee of the university. So I think at the moment, she can probably take, because she's not, like, a full-time faculty yet, she can take the time. Whereas if she's about to make tenure, then... It's not.
I guess, like, what... Is this Hallmark? I feel like just, as per usual, that they're just trying to, like, push, like, a traditional life that someone has to give up their career, the woman, generally, and you live a traditional married life together in a house. Like, there's none of this long distance.
Yeah. I'm also like, if you're a university lecturer in anthropology and he is about to move to London to work at a university, you don't have to have tenure to move and teach in London. You will just become full-time faculty.
But you could also, like...
You can teach anywhere.
You can teach... hello, if you're moving to London, go work at the Natural History Museum. That would be rad.
Become a forensic anthropologist.
Yeah.
You know, like, there are just so many... possibilities.
But it's not like she's at like UCLA or Harvard. She's at some rinky-dink random college. I don't even know where she is. You cannot be aiming for this tenure at this specific university. Is it renowned for anthropology? Probably not.
We don't know.
I know we're nitpicking. I can't.
We always do though.
I know, but like, it's just think it through for 5 seconds.
No. London is a great place to live, Hallmark. So if you want to send a character there, that's okay.
But also, if you need, we've lived in London, so if you need people to like help with that, oh, I'm not from here and I've moved to London, kind of character development,
give us a call.
Give us a call.
We are friends.
Yeah,
plenty of people we can reach out to, and then let you know what it's like for an Australian to move to.
Yeah. It has to be Australian, and I think we need to be there. In London to like experience it again.
Find ways back.
Yeah.
This is not. I can't segue. I'm too tired to segue, team. So I'm just going to go straight to the next one.
Sure.
They talk about at dinner the fact that there's a fire extinguisher next to the barbecue, and there is only one reason for that, and that is because Stephanie, as a child, used to roast her marshmallows on the barbecue. Not the fact that it's a fire hazard, and probably there should be a fire extinguisher near a barbecue anyway. Sure. But also they have a fire pit just behind them. So the barbecue's like off to the right or left, whatever, and then the fire pit is directly behind them. And I'm like, why are we not roasting marshmallows in the fire?
Yeah, why?
Isn't the barbecue harder and taller and more of a hazard because you can knock it over?
Totally.
Anyway. Can we talk about love at first sight? I wrote that note because this is the reason why Stephanie said yes to Ben, because she knew it from the minute that they met that they were destined to be together. She has been engaged previously.
Yes.
But when she met Ben, love at first sight. And I'm going to sound like a romance Scrooge.
That's fine.
And that's fine, but I do not believe in love at first sight. I believe that feeling is lust.
Yeah, I believe that you could have a strong attraction.
I think you can be very attracted to someone in the first go, and whether that's attracted to their personality or attracted to their external appearance, whatever that is, I don't think it's love. I don't think it's a forever and ever after love. I think you look at someone and you're like, oh, I see Taryn Edgerton and I feel very hot.
I love that was your example. Oh my god. Amazing.
I'm going to need a cold shower. That's not me being like, love at first sight.
Totally.
You know? And there are definitely people that you click with, and there's definitely personalities that you're like, oh, we've been on this date for 6 hours. That's so nice. And it hasn't felt horrible. It's just been really easy, and you're very easy to talk to. It's still it's like a chemical reaction thing. It's not a love thing. And people are going to argue that, and I know it. I know I sound like a Scrooge, but I just truly believe that this, like, idea of love at first sight is why we all want to get married so young.
That's kind of like what Hallmark thrives on. Though.
Oh, like, absolutely.
They thrive on love at first sight, meet cutes, like tradition.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's fine for entertainment's sake, but the more and more we see it, the more and more we expect it in real life.
I think the fact that we see it like every week when we watch a movie, we're like, this is just like, it's becoming unrealistic now. Like, this is not how, like, why is this the kind of angle you always want to push?
Yeah, I mean, we know that we're watching romantic comedies.
But there are different ways of doing romantic comedies. It doesn't always have to be like that.
No. This is where we kind of go back to, like, Midnight at the Magnolia, where at least they have been friends since childhood. That's I feel like that's realistic. We've all had crushes on our friends, like, whereas this, I don't know. And it's only because I've been having a lot of these conversations with my friends outside of this podcast, where it's like, I just want that spark, or I want to feel that and I'm like, sometimes that takes time. Sometimes you meet someone and you're friends with them and then the spark happens. Sometimes the spark doesn't happen until they, like, I don't know, touch your arm or something. You know, like, it's not necessarily this, like, I'm going to meet someone and I'm going to feel it instantly thing.
Yeah.
And I know what we're watching. I know that we're watching these movies that are pushing this because that is the genre that we are watching.
Yeah.
But I just find it so interesting that we can still be like, look, if you believe in love at first sight, I'm not going to, like, poo-poo you at all. You can believe what you want, have your own opinion. This is just my opinion. I just don't think that it exists.
No,
and not that I haven't felt an immediate attraction to someone.
Yeah, no, I agree though. Like, I don't think I've ever had a love at first sight moment. Sure, like a connection of, and also when we say love at first sight, are we literally meaning at first sight? Because if you're looking at someone being like, damn, like they could be an asshole.
Beep.
Yeah, mate, I've said like multiple things this
episode.
But
I've definitely like met someone and been like, I want to date you.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that love at first sight.
No, I think that's just vibing, having a connection.
Yeah.
I don't think that's love
Vibes at first sight.
That's a good movie title too. Oh yeah, t-shirt merch.
Yeah.
Vibes.
Yeah, put it.
Trademarked.
Vibes
merch idea. Vibe. I'm writing it down.
Yeah, great.
Why can't I spell?
Volumes at first sight.
I spelled it wrong I just should do caps lock.
When you guys, that might be working title for our Hallmark movie, Vibes at First Sight. Anyway, that was a tangent.
It's fine.
I'm glad we're kind of on the same page.
Yeah, sure. Like, what did you think I was going to be like, KB, what are you talking about?
I fall in love. But that's the thing, is that we have had friends who fall in love in inverted commas constantly. They will see someone, they'll be like, oh, that's my husband. And you're like, oh. You just want to sleep with them.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
different.
Totally.
And that's okay too. Please, go have some fun.
Absolutely.
But let's not call it love.
Totally. I agree.
That's my Karen rant for today.
Wow.
I'm entering that era.
Oh no, it's fine.
Oh, anyway, the Photoshop sister photo with slightly different lighting for the two girls. Hilarious.
Photoshop is just never a good idea in a Hallmark movie.
I love it. Anyway, Ben says the worst line in the movie after this photo. We get a pan to the photo, and he says, she still has the most beautiful smile. And I'm like, of course she has the same smile. She's the same person.
Yeah. I mean, I will, in his defense, my smile was like, when I was little, because my teeth were like,
Yeah, but she's like an 18-year-old in this photo.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, true.
She's not a child.
She's not a child, yeah. True.
Anyway, I lost it. It's in capital letters and there's like 6 exclamation marks after it. Then they get sad because all these people can't come to their wedding.
No.
And I'm like, you haven't even sent out a save the date. You literally sent them invitation less than 4 weeks before your wedding.
Like, what did you think?
Palm Springs.
But also, what are these people
during
doing?
the break?
I mean, I guess it's like summer holidays, so people are probably genuinely doing things.
Yes.
And people often, like, it's, I don't know, like, no, not like Australia, but people would have plans.
Huh? I said to change it because we're changing the date.
Oh, yeah, changing the date. But, you know, in this context for this movie, of course, people would have events.
Yes.
It's like a big celebration.
But also, if you're at a very popular holiday destination, where are they going to stay?
Oh, totally.
How are they going to... It's probably going to cost them at this point a lot of money to get there.
Yeah.
Maybe they're... It just feels like a lot of pressure for Grandma.
Oh, boy. And Grandma's like, I better stay alive. Because that's what they've been holding out for, is that she stays alive.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
For some reason, I wrote We All Love Living in London. And I assume when we're talking about living in London chats with Ben, but I don't know what that means. I really should start elaborating on my notes.
I know, I've started doing that too. Like, I've like written golf scene just so
we know.
Yeah.
So then we go to a bar.
Oh, is this where Dave comes in?
Yeah, Dave comes in and literally comes in for like 2 minutes and then we never see him again.
So Dave was
the ex-fiance to
Stephanie's, I was going to call it Samantha, Stephanie's ex-fiance. Mm-hmm. He looked really familiar. I couldn't be bothered looking it up. He's been in something, obviously, without a doubt, but I couldn't tell you what. But he did look familiar. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was really weird, like, because, like, the brother-in-law, so Stephanie's sister's fiance, she was like, I don't want to talk to him. And then he went, hey, Dave.
He said first, but I like Dave.
Cool. And which team are you on?
Yeah, I was like, not a vibe.
Yeah.
Just not a vibe. For some reason I wrote, okay, this family is loaded. I don't know what we saw in that moment, but they are very rich. I think it was the multiple cars in the driveway and like, just like all of, I don't know. No, it wasn't.
Was it the fact that they were about to go play golf?
Maybe.
I don't know. That's just the next note that I have. Oh, wait.
Oh, I think it was the style of the vintage car. Okay. I was like, you can't... It's shiny, it's pristine, it's beautiful. Oh, yeah. I'm like, surely not.
I did write a note. This was more like... sorry, to backtrack to Dave.
Yeah.
So he, what's the guy's name? Ben. Ben knew about Dave, but that's it. Knew that there was an ex-fiance. Literally knew nothing about him. Like, didn't know the story.
No.
And so I was like, that's a pretty big, like, life event that if someone said, you know, surely within the 6 months you talk about, like, your previous relationships, you would go, yeah, I was engaged. Oh, Stephanie, please tell me more. Sure. Here's the information, like, in obviously a better setting than that. But then I said, what would have been better and more suitable to the plot, in my opinion, based on the fact that they knew nothing each other, was it if she didn't tell him at all.
Yeah.
And then he would have gone like, what?
And that was the conflict. And that's am I moving to London conflict.
Yeah. And like, just like that kind of like was the last straw, like, he kept finding out, you know, things about him, realizing that they didn't know much, and then that was it. Yeah. Dave. Yeah. Good.
Hallmark.
Take notes.
This whole, like, you didn't ask me for her hand. I'm just like, I'm glad the dad was like, not really, but like at the same time, Hallmark, women aren't property.
Yeah. We are.
We are still.
Apparently.
Anyway, we love a good I can't play golf scene.
Yes. And oh my gosh, the golf scene was
bet on it.
I didn't retain what happened during the golf scene, but I looked at it and went, I've seen this golf.
I've seen this golf course before.
And
Zac Efron has been on this.
Zac Efron has been singing his heart out, splashing water, climbing rocks. So was Trisha Paytas when she did like do you know who Trisha Paytas? She's like a YouTuber, and she did like reenacted the Bet on It thing. I'm pretty sure she must have gone to the same golf course. So it was the Bet on It golf course, which was amazing. So we've had Aunt Zelda and a High School Musical scene.
We love it. Mm-hmm. We live for it.
Well, I did say the golf scene was pointless. It was literally just to show that he can't play, and is that meant to equal he's not good enough for her, or he can't fit into the... Like, what was the point?
And then he takes her on a picnic, and it's the golf course.
So, again, like, High School Musical.
Yeah, I'm like, why are we picnicking anyway? It's all very confusing. And maybe it was this, like... I don't know. He's got work to... I don't know.
Who knows?
They're trying to plan the salads for the wedding. And the dad is like, I just want iceberg and bacon. And they're like, yeah, let's do that. And I'm like, why are we catering as if this is a barbecue? Do you want a wedding or do you want a barbecue?
And they literally didn't. They literally had.
I mean,
someone
have both. That's
come
fine.
and do a food tasting for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what you want, just because you like it. This is a wedding. This is exactly, not a barbecue at home. This is a wedding.
Unless you want a home barbecue, and then just say you want a barbecue at home for your wedding. That's fine.
Yeah.
I have so many nitpicky things. There's like a guess the jelly beans.
I wrote the guess the jelly beans. Did you also write? It was like a tiny jar.
Yeah,
and you wrote
there's
1,000.
But it ended up being like quite a high number when they announced how many jelly beans were in the jar. I was like, absolutely no. There's like maybe a couple of hundred.
These
in there.
props people, they really just go, oh well, no one's gonna notice. We notice. We notice everything.
We're so sorry. But also, if you're gonna have 1,000 jelly beans in a jar, maybe make a bigger jar.
Yeah, totally.
We get a wedding dress montage.
Yes, that was literally the next note that I had. Wedding dress montage.
Classic.
Okay, so the woman who was like the store, she looks really familiar, and I recognize her from. I can't believe this is what I remember. She was from White Chicks. She was one of the brothers, like the main guy's wife. Well, no, the only guy who had a wife.
Yeah.
But I loved, and by love I mean hated, the cuts to her where she was like pulling face, like, and I was like, no, you're not doing, like, this is not right. Like, I, as a store, like, sales assistant, I would not care that much. I'd be like,
Be like, why are you trying on wedding dresses when you're not getting married?
Yeah.
Which apparently is the best time to try them. Which, like, fair.
Have you ever gone and tried? I've never tried on
I've never tried on a wedding. I've been to wedding dress fittings with other friends that are getting married, but I haven't been like, you know what? While I'm here.
Let's just try and see what I like.
I just said if grandma can't make it, postpone it.
Yes.
Like, then you have the time. This is meant to be their holiday, and all they're doing is planning a wedding.
Yeah.
The decorating of the tarts at the bakery.
Why?
Why are we decorating tarts? That's not what tarts are for.
Yeah, and it was also, what did he do? He did, like, one of the presidents.
Yeah.
And she did something. Like, it was just not... these scenes that are not necessarily... and don't move the plot forward.
Oh, well, it did, because the bakery owner was like, you must, it's a sign that you must be together forever because you both picked up the blue icing. I was like, it wasn't only blue icing on the table.
But, like, they could have done that in any other way other than, like, just sit down and whatever.
Palm Springs looks fun, though.
Yeah, Palm
Springs.
I would love to go to Palm Springs. Again, in a nicer house, but yeah, I would love to go.
Then I wrote, oh my god, there's still 30 minutes of this. And then I just wrote postpone the wedding, and then in capital letters, postpone the wedding. It just got to the end where I was just like, what? Like, Stephanie's sister and her brother-in-law went back home because they had to work. I think they were lawyers. We're not really sure.
Not really. She was in an office.
She was in an office. So for like the 2.5 weeks leading up to the wedding, they weren't even there to prepare for it. So Stephanie and Ben spent their whole holiday planning this wedding that wasn't for them.
To be fair, I wouldn't do that.
No.
For my sister, I'd be like, no, this is yours.
Yeah. I'd be like, hey,
you decided this.
Maybe we don't get married in 3 weeks' time.
Yeah. And they just ultimately decide that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is probably... I mean, you should have just realised that after the first few vendors said, no, I can't do anything for you.
Yeah. They party crash somebody else's wedding for a photographer.
And he's like, this is weird, but I like it.
So I'll do it.
I'll do the job.
Wild. And I'm like, why? Are you going to charge them a desperation fee? Because
yeah,
it was a lot.
I feel like you already have the wedding tax, but a desperation tax.
Yeah, desperation tax. Let's do it. Whoops, that's the wrong. I typed the wrong one. we went back to the golf course. I just couldn't take it seriously.
I don't get the
I
golf
just was like,
course.
where's Zac Efron?
Yeah.
And then did we really need the golf bros moment? Like the two brothers?
No,
like,
I agree. For me, I wrote details that were not needed. The tart decorating and the golf plot in general.
Yeah.
Didn't need any of it.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
If you don't like, and then the brother-in-law's like, I don't think I want to get married if the people I want to be there can't be there because grandma now can't come to the wedding. So I'm like, just postpone it.
Yeah.
But both boys have things to say and they're not saying them to their fiancés. So it's like, well, I'm glad we got there in the end.
Yeah.
We got a chopping veggie scene that I was like, wrong knife, bad chopping.
I don't
Why do
remember
we
that
get
scene.
it?
I don't know where I was.
They were
Not
chopping
watching.
up carrots or something and she was using a bread knife and it was just a lot. Like,
oh, why do they do this to us?
I just like, come on now team, why are we using maybe the biggest knife that you have in your drawer to cut small tiny carrots?
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it's done. I don't know, but I'm like, surely there's a better way.
Sure.
I'm racing through this now because I'm like, get to the end.
Yeah. I've only got a few more notes, to be honest.
Maybe if you got to know.
I also didn't write 3 things.
I made it to 3 things.
Oh no.
But like, they're not good.
Yeah.
What does this mean? Maybe if you got to know him instead of telling them. Oh, when the dad was like, oh my gosh, he's actually really nice. I was like, yeah, maybe if you got to know him instead of just spending your whole time being like, this is too soon.
Yeah.
I wrote, whoops, we love a compromise because finally she's like, well, maybe I can come with you and then I'll move, like, I'll come back and forth or you can come back and forth. And then it was like, nah, jokes, we're going to go on a break.
Yeah, and the
like,
breakup was really weird. I found it like there were no emotions.
No, they were like, I guess this is the way that it has to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah. That's when I said, I'm confused about Tanya. Why does it take so long to be made? Like, I had to Google it because I'm like, I don't understand this concept, and I also don't understand how you can, like, how there is different levels. Like, obviously there are casual lecturers and there are part-time and full-time lecturers here in Australia, but if you're teaching consistent, and maybe it is that thing of like, you have to be teaching consistently before you become full-time. You don't just apply for a full-time position.
Do we have tenure here?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an American thing.
Yeah.
True.
As far as I know,
I've never heard of
it. A university here in Australia, but I'm pretty sure you just get hired as either permanent, or part-time, full-time, or casual. Why are you not talking to each other? Truthfully, the classic note in every bloody movie. And then Dad comes in for a dad chat, and I'm like, come on, team, let's get this moving.
Come on.
Let's do it. Then they compromise. Then they want 4 to 6 kids, and I'm like, why? Because who wants 4 to 6 kids?
Yeah, where did he get that number from? Wait, did he or was it her?
I think they were like, we'll have like 4 to 6 because he wants 8 and she wants 3 or something. And I'm like, nobody wants 4 to 6.
Like,
surely
don't you
not.
Understand in this economy? But also, like, just
you only have 2 hands.
Also, like, running after 4 to 6 kids.
You can only carry 2 at a time. I mean, you can probably carry 3 if you have one on the back. But like, truly, I said just don't get married after 6 months. Like, anyway, they have a surprise wedding at the end because sister and brother-in-law decide that they're not going to get married. But none of his family are there.
Who are the guests?
Just his mum and dad turn up, and who knows who else.
But there's like seats full of people.
Yeah.
Who seem to know them.
I'm assuming it's her family because they were going to be coming to the sister's wedding. But then, like, his parents literally fly out within maybe 24 hours to come see him get married.
And then maybe he got bumped into her room because they were getting married. So then
they're allowed to
consummate the marriage, living under one roof in one bed.
Ugh. How dare they?
Yeah.
So the 3 things that I found I liked.
Wait, sorry. Yeah, she quits her job and then...
I think she decides that she'll move to London.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
99% sure that's what happened. Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd moved to London.
No, not what happened. Take it back. He calls the guy that hired him and has made it so that he can do the research in the States, and then he will just fly to London for the examination.
Wow, okay. All right, that's fine.
Yes, sorry.
I take back what I said at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh well.
3 things.
Mate.
The Sabrina throwback.
I'm just going to read my 2 really short ones because I'm over it. I really like Palm Springs as a location. I think it's beautiful. And I think to film in Palm Springs, because it's literally like a residential kind of area. Obviously, people live there and there are holiday homes. I know it's quite big, but it would cost money, surely, to film there. It's not in Canada.
Just film there too. Have you watched that series yet?
No, it looks good though. I know I would. It's Kristen Wiig.
Yeah. Palm Springs and
just Aunt Zelda was there.
That's one of mine.
I was just like, it was just like a nice surprise. And to be fair, like the fact that there was a, okay, I recognized the golf course from High School Musical, but I'm not going to add that one. It was more like the Aunt Zelda was like, oh, this is a familiar face that, you know, almost comforting.
Yeah.
They are my 2 things. I refuse to think of a third. I didn't even want to think of the 2.
I like Ben's face.
Can't remember it.
So just brunette, blue eyes, the classic.
Oh yeah.
I like his face.
Yeah.
And I do like their style of communication. Like they did talk well. What is it?
Sorry. You keep talking about your 3 things.
They talk well to each other. That was a terrible sentence, but this is where we're at too. I'm just getting tired. I liked the way that they just, everything was kind of chill. Even when they broke up, it wasn't really a fight. Like everything was just, oh no. I just realized what he's from. Just realized what Dave's from. The worst movie we've ever watched. So now he's in the worst and the second worst.
This guy can't catch a break.
He was in
Love Strikes Twice or Second Chance Christmas. The worst movie we've ever watched.
But he was only in this one for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
He was also in Nashville for a couple of episodes.
Sean Butler.
Nashville.
I don't remember the character names of Nashville.
No.
Alright.
Anyway, yeah, sorry, keep going.
I gave this a 4.5 out of 10. It was fine.
Wow,
But I really hated watching it the second time.
I was generous and I gave a 5 because I was like, what did we watch? Yes, I Do really frustrated me.
Yeah, true.
So this was kind of like the same for that.
Okay. So I'm happy to go to a 5 to make it even.
No.
Or 4.75.
What?
It's a 4.75.
Do a 4.75. I don't think it... So, because what... Oh, Love Strikes Twice was...
Love Strikes Twice was a 2. Angel Falls Christmas was a 4.5.
Angel Falls Christmas was pretty weird and boring.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm okay with that. I wouldn't watch either of them again. Angel Falls Christmas or Sister of the Bride.
I definitely wouldn't watch Love Strikes Twice as well. No, but Sister of the Bride, like this was... I feel like I'm being too generous with the 5.
You're being very generous. I thought that you were going to give it like a 3.
Oh, okay. No, now I'm rethinking
but no. If that was your
no,
thing.
I felt like because I'm thinking back to Yes I Do, Chocolatier. Allergic to chocolate. I'm triggered. Oh my god. Oh no, but who was in it? No, it's worse than that. It's not a 5.
Okay.
Do you know what? I'm going to give it a 4. I've changed my mind.
4.25. Okay.
I'm going to give it a 4 because it's worse than Yes I Do.
Yeah. Great.
But it had, according to me, 2 redeeming qualities about it. Aunt Zelda and Palm Springs.
And they're great redeeming qualities. And we have talked about this for long enough.
Oh gosh. Move on.
But if you'd like to talk to us more about it, apparently I can no longer talk, so this will be interesting. If you would like to talk to us more about this movie or tell us a movie that you would like us to watch, go to our socials at HallmarkedPod on both Instagram and TikTok. You can email us at hallmarkedpod@gmail.com.
Correct.
Hallmark, that is the email address for reaching out to Aya for
for our London trip.
Anyway, team, we've talked enough about it.
Yeah, I don't need to... Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
Catch you next time.